Hi, and welcome back to this week's episode of I Live for This podcast with your host, me, Trinity the Tuck, and your co-host for this week is Shontelle Sparkles. Hey, Shontelle.
What's going on? How's everybody?
I'm so excited that you're back. You always give me joy because I always get to make fun of you as my drag
It's
doll.
just so easy, isn't it?
It really is.
Well, listen, bitch, it's easy to make fun of you too, you old bitch.
You're only a few years younger than me. If only they could hear the conversation we just had.
I know.
Through text message.
I was like, maybe we should have saved that.
We should have, but it's all in good fun. This week's special guest is all the way from Canada's Drag Race season 3, Fiercalicious. Hi.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks.
So excited you're here. It's unusual to see you out of drag. I mean, I guess I remember seeing you in drag on your season, but I'm just so used to seeing this supermodel
fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. But also we'll get into it too. You were on Canada's Traitors, right?
Yes, bitch, which I'm a fan of. I've watched them all. I havenn't watched Canada yet. I didn't even know it was
It's
out,
not
so
on.
I'm gonna
It's
go
not
watch
on.
it.
They don't have it on like Peacock. I think it's your streaming service in the US. I don't know. It's like a
Yeah.
weird. I don't know. There's like something around with the network. They only stream it in Canada for some reason. But if you use a
Oh.
VPN, you can watch it on ctv.ca.
Oh, girl, we're gonna hack it. We're gonna get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell them I said that, but yeah, you couldn't work your way around the
Right.
system.
Now it's on Reddit, bitch.
I've been looking for it because I obviously have watched all of the
me too.
Traitors. So I've been looking for it. So I'm gonna have to look for it. Were you in drag at all for that?
I did the first episode in drag, and I actually did the first mission in drag. Like, I had to run for like 2 kilometers, I think. And like, I kind of had
a drag.
Yeah, I didn't have to do it. I did it in drag because I had this strategy that like, if I stayed in drag the first episode, I wouldn't get murdered because they would want to see what I look like out of drag, so they would keep me for at least one day.
That's kind of smart.
Okay. And it was sickening, like, I'll send you the clip. Like, there's a clip of me like running in this quarry. I was the fastest runner in my group, like in this like rhinestone 2-piece set. It was sickening.
Word. Well, did you,
this.
without telling too much of your season, did that strategy work at least for that episode?
It worked for that one episode, and then I made it like.
How many episodes did you make it?
I made it halfway through, and like my strategy on that show was to be like really messy because like it would kind of like make people think that I was a traitor, and then the traitors wouldn't want to murder me, so they at least like keep me around for the round tables. And honestly, it kind of worked. Like, I didn't get accused at all for the first like 5 episodes of being a traitor, and then at one point everyone just got sick of me, and everyone came at me and voted me out.
Well, damn. Okay, well, now you don't have to watch Canada's Traitors.
I'm still gonna watch it. You know I love all that.
Me too. Well, we have some fun topics today I want to get through. The first one, speaking of drama, is drama between Jan Sport and Sherry Pie. Jan had came out on her social media saying that if she never saw Sherry Pie ever again, it would be too soon. And I guess Sherry Pie clapped back with a post saying it was like her face, and it said, "I don't need to argue with backpacks." What do we think about this? Sherry Pie's like trying to have a comeback in drag. What do we think about this?
I mean, I never saw her post because I don't follow her, but I did see Jan Sport's Jan, her name's Jana. I saw her post, and I don't think like Sherry should be having a comeback. Like, she kind of had a controversial moment on her season, and what Jan was saying was like she was telling everyone that she learned from her mistakes, but then allegations like came out before the season aired, so it kind of shows that like she wasn't being genuine, and she was trying to like have a moment and try to like come back without being authentic.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that even if she did try to do a comeback, it's not going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
you know how this fandom is. Like, they're crazy. So good luck.
You know what's very fascinating is I really do believe that if none of this would have been a thing of Sherry, she probably would have won her season.
Absolutely.
She was just absolutely incredible from what I heard. I mean, she
And
was
super creative.
edited out so much. But when you do something that's, sexual allegations against her, I don't know if she was ever charged for those, but so many people came out against her because of those sexual allegations. That is crazy. And like
Yep.
to think that you're gonna like somehow have a platform after that, like that's absolutely a no.
Yeah, like I
Um,
said, even if she tried, she wouldn't even have a chance.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's interesting that she's like she doesn't argue with backpacks when she's desperate trying to get on talk shows to say her side of the story. She has no remorse, it seems like. Not
Well, she's
genuine
doing
remorse.
cameos too. How much are cameos normally? Like, how much do you guys charge?
I think mine's, I don't know, I think like $75. Oh, let's not get into the cameo discourse because there was a fight on Twitter about that one with Mistress and Kiara.
I think whenever I was doing Cameo, I set it at like 150.
Okay,
I
she's doing
don't
it for
do
40.
yeah, I don't do Cameo anymore because if
That's more
most people
expensive than what
book
Kiara was charging. Like, did y'all see the fight on Twitter with like Mistress and Kiara about like so Mistress did a video and she was being shady and she like ranked who had the cheapest cameo and then Kiara from Canada's Drag Race was the cheapest. It was like $20. And then someone tagged her in the clip and then she got really upset about it. But yeah, it was, what's her face is charging more than Kiara.
you
Huh.
don't make any money off of like if they book through the app
Uh-huh.
because Cameo obviously takes their percentage and then Apple
Yeah.
takes 30%.
Yeah.
Oh my
So like
God.
so you make no money if they book through the app.
No wonder why you
Um,
was charging 150.
well, that's why
Well,
I
yeah.
was charging because you don't make any money. And on mine at the time, because I did it for a while, it said in my profile may or may not be in drag. So if
Okay.
I was in drag already and I had time, I would do them. But if not, girl, I am not getting in drag for no $40.
Yeah.
Like
Would you do them in drag? Your
So
exclusive?
like if you book them on the website, it's like it's you get a lot more of the money. But I found like a little loophole. So I feel bad when I don't do it in drag, but I'll like there's like a redo option on Cameo. So if I don't have time to like if I'm not in drag that week, I'll film like a quick little video. If there's still time, like if there's like a birthday and it's like 2 weeks in advance, I'll be like
Yeah.
I'll film like a video out of drag and be like, hey, sorry, I don't want your cameo to expire, but I'm gonna get you this video once I'm in drag, like in a few days, and then I'll refilm the cameo for them when I'm in drag.
Well, that's sweet.
okay, interesting. All right, well
Just a
that's good.
little
That
loophole I
way,
found.
that way
I
you
wonder
don't
if
make it.
Sherry's actually getting cameos booked. And who are these people that are booking them?
Well, girl, if like we talked
Expose
about,
them.
and like we talked about last week with George Santos, um, yeah, I'm sure people are wanting these cameos for whatever reason that
Yeah.
might be. Either they're supporting or they just wanna stir up the drama or
Yeah.
whatever it might be. I'm sure people are
Yeah.
booking for whatever reason. And that is crazy to me. That's
When
crazy
you
to
get the
me.
cameos, are you able to like share, like say I bought a cameo from you guys, am I allowed to post that online or is it only strictly for me to use?
No,
Yeah,
it's
people.
yours. You can
Oh,
download it. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Have you had any? What is your weirdest cameo, Fiercalicious? Like what's some of the weird ones you've
I
had?
haven't really got any weird ones, but there was one where I got booked for like it was like an 80-year-old grandfather's birthday, and I don't think he knew who I was. Like like his grandchildren just booked him this cameo, and then I was like, hi, I was just like being myself, and they gave me a 2-star review. I was gay. I was like, I don't think he knew who I was. Like, why'd y'all book
Damn.
me?
I had a cameo. It was from this girl. I don't remember her name. It was to her best friend, another girl, and she had did this weird cameo where like she asked for all these specifics and she wanted me to call her friend like a name and it was kind of like a controversial name and I like didn't want to say that and it was her nickname and there was something else in there that she was requesting that I just didn't want to do. I did the cameo anyway without doing those specific things because I think it was for a birthday. So I just made it my own and she gave me like a really bad review
Damn.
And girl, this is back in my era where I was just clapping back to everybody on social media.
I remember those
Um,
days.
yeah, since then I'm
Now she
just
yells
like,
at me
girl.
for doing it.
Since then, it's just not worth it to interact with people negatively online. Social media can really get to you, even if you're not a messy person like that. It really can get to you, and at that moment, it just was like I had to get like I got banned on Twitter, and that was literally the best thing to ever happen. But anyway, so I found her social media, and I sent her a message. I said, don't ever request anything from me again. Like you gave me
Bitch,
a
you
bad
petty.
review. You gave me a bad review. You're supposedly my fan, and I did everything but say these nasty words that you were trying to get me to say to your friend. I'm not doing that. So don't ever. And then I got a message back where she's like, "You've made me cry. You've ruined this. I'm unfollowing you." I'm like, "Good, good, bitch, good."
I should have messaged the grandfather. I
Anyway,
said, "Don't book me ever again," too.
yeah, you should have. You said,
Was the grandfather gay?
I have no
Do
idea.
you
I don't
know?
think he was. Like, I literally think
Oh.
he, like his. I think his grandchildren just like went on Cameo, found a random person, and booked him a cameo.
I was just gonna say, well, maybe he was mad that he didn't get any extra like nudes or anything.
Well, what I
In the
don't like
video.
about like a lot of and we have some great fans. We really do have some great fans, and I appreciate all those. But we do have some entitled ass fans who think they literally own you
Well,
because
people in general, it's not just the fans. I think people that just like drag feel entitled. They think that because we're drag queens, we're like almost like a petting zoo.
Mhm.
yeah,
It's
yeah, that's
crazy.
true. That is true. And also, Chantel, it's got to be the same way with your wig business and
Oh,
your costume business, where people they think because they're booking you for hair or costumes that they can literally treat you like shit.
oh yeah. And then they'll talk to me and they'll ask me about like, and this it's not a problem, but like when it's like constant, like they'll ask me like for their opinions on like their garments or like what they're wearing with the hair, and I'm like, listen, I'm not a fashion stylist. I'm a hairstylist. So if you want me to give you a full consultation, bitch, you're gonna have to pay extra.
Well, I mean, I don't know that I would ever ask you for fashion advice, but um,
You're so
that's all
shady.
we would message.
That's gonna be my shade thing later on.
We
I
would
call shade.
request we'd request one from Fiercalicious, a cameo from Fiercalicious to ask fashion advice.
Period.
Have you been on any of the Tudor boots yet? Is that what they do?
No, they haven't done one for Canada since season one. Like, I wish I
They
got.
need to.
Yeah, I know. I would have gone to two every week, except for maybe the first episode when I made the prolapse dress. But yeah,
I
I love
love
it.
it.
Well, you definitely
Well,
need to be on it.
let's move on to the next topic, which is I learned after coming out as monogamous. What I learned about coming out as monogamous. So, Chantel, you read this article, right? Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
I didn't read all of it, so you
Oh
go.
wow! Oh wow!
Girl, I had read as much as I could. You sent me this link like 10 minutes out.
Well, I'm going to read just a little bit about it. So it says, I've had to come out I've had to come out many times in my life as a mixed race trans, and they use the F slur. We're not going to use that
I did
today.
see that, and I was like, oh.
Um,
oh wow.
who can very much give, they use the D word, the DYKE. Wow, they are filthy.
Yeah, this
Uh,
I did read it, and I was like, I don't know if I can make it through this.
I don't think I read this.
uh,
I didn't read up on my
um,
homework.
that's okay. I'm going to read a little bit and then we can just discuss. Um, it has become almost second nature at this point to explain what my deal is at any moment's notice. But what I've never expected was the amount of coming out I would have to do after my partner and I decided to divulge into uncharted terrain, monogamy.
Hmm.
So basically the article is about them becoming monogamous in their relationship. And I don't know, Fierce Delicious, are you in a relationship?
I'm currently in a relationship. It's been like a few months now, but I haven't been in a relationship my entire life until now, so it's kind of uncharted
Oh.
territory.
Okay,
Why is that?
interesting.
I've just
Is
like
it just because
never.
you're like more?
I've never
Go
like
ahead.
found like the right person, and like I've always been like kind of focused on like myself and like my career growing up. And also like when I was younger, I grew up in a very religious household, so I wasn't always like allowed to be myself, and I was afraid to date anyone because I was afraid like my parents would find out. So it wasn't until like I got into university when I actually like came out and I started like exploring myself and being comfortable with myself.
Hmm.
But still never like found the right person until now.
Hmm.
That's fierce.
Yeah, it's really
Alicious.
good. Not fierce delicious. I live for this. Fierce delicious.
So you said you've been in a relationship for a couple of months. Are you guys monogamous or open?
Yeah, we're monogamous. I mean, we had a conversation about it at the beginning, like, do you want to be monogamous, or do you want to be open? And my partner said he would prefer to be monogamous, so we went down that path.
Is that something that you like or believe in, or would you prefer to be open?
I'm like fine with that. Like, I kind of see both sides of it. Like, I think
Hmm.
being open is like fine as long as you're able to communicate with the other person. So, because like when there's like a lot of like emotions involved, and as long as you're able to like separate like the sex from the relationship, I think that's fine. Because I know this other couple here who they were in an open relationship, but they broke up because there was like emotional cheating. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Like,
so like
what do you mean?
it was really weird. I don't know. I hope they don't hear this, but so there was two couples. And then they kind of like switched partners, and they were like they got I think they had like a set like they had like rules on like their like open relationship. Like they could sleep with other people as long as it didn't get like too emotional. But then I think one of them got too emotional with the other, and then now they switched
Mm.
couples. So now like the one of them is dating one person and the other is dating the other.
That's
Oh.
that's really interesting. Wow.
Yeah.
Um, Chantel, you have a long lasting relationship with your partner Ethan. How long have you been together?
We've been together for going on like 7 years, but I will say, my last relationship, you remember John, I was with him for about 7 years, and we had like threesomes and we were open and stuff. But I will say that it's not for the faint of heart. I feel like you have to definitely, like you said, it's all about communication. It's all about being on the same page and trusting the person. And I think that that was the issue with the last relationship, that it was a lack of trust, period. Like I couldn't trust him with anything. And there's also got to be like a you got to be confident and feel wanted by the other person too. You know what I mean? Because they're going to be with other people. I don't know. It's hard to explain, but like my relationship now, we've definitely had like open things. But as far as like the rule itself, we're monogamous. But we do play like, here and there. But we haven't done it in like almost probably a year. So
Interesting.
I believe that it's for, like I said, it's not for everybody, but if you do it, I think it's okay. I think it actually makes couples stronger in some ways. It just depends on the people.
Mhm.
I am in a relationship going on this year will be 3 years, and we are open. He is pansexual, so he likes women, trans women, um, literally everything. He can be attracted to anything feminine,
Hmm.
and I didn't want to have to compete with that. I also didn't want to
Yeah,
have to worry about that. I've been in many relationships where we were monogamous, and I always had like trust issues. But
same.
my last relationship, we started monogamous and then moved into being open, and the thoughts and feelings of distrust went away with that because
Mm,
it was almost like we gave each other permission. And
yeah,
so going into this relationship, I just told him, I was like, I don't want to be monogamous. Emotionally, yes, and we have set rules that we have to follow.
we
And
do too.
so far so good. Going on to 3 years, we haven't had any issues with that. So I think it just depends on your relationship. Every
Yep.
relationship has different rules, and you're still really young into your relationship, Fear. So you'll get, maybe later on you can have another conversation
Mhm.
and just check in with each other and see how things are going because trust is the number one
And
thing you have
conversation
to have.
also is always
Yeah,
important. Like to keep it open, make the person feel like they can talk to you about anything, because that's how cheating happens. Is like
Right.
when you do talk, when you do make it feel uncomfortable to talk about anything, especially I feel like being in a relationship, you have to treat the person where like they're your best friend to where like you feel like you can talk to them about anything. Like you can joke around and not feel like it's judged. It's got to be a safe space, you know? So I'm all open for the open, but for me, it's monogamy.
Let's move on to the next topic. Chantel, you said you really liked this one, the neo-Nazi Nick Fuentes blames gay porn live stream click on hack.
I just thought it was super funny. Like, did you read it, Fiercalicious?
I
Wait,
did,
did I get a list of like? I didn't read any of the articles. I didn't see
Oh,
one.
no, no,
yeah.
no. It's okay. I just didn't know if you had saw it. But like,
Oh no, no, no! I
basically this
haven't.
guy, he's a Republican, I guess. Did you read it all the way, Trinity?
No, I
He
didn't read it all the way.
he did some kind of segment where like he was streaming or something and gay porn started playing on his segment. And he's all about like bashing the gays and stuff. So it's like people are like, well, clearly you're gay. But I feel like that's how it is with a lot of these people that are the Republicans. They're all like, quick to, try to bash the gays or everybody else that's a part of the LGBTQ community. And then all of a sudden you find out they have this dirty laundry. It's
Yeah,
like, what's going on here?
it's always like a lot of the people like I feel like they just have like a lot of like repressed emotions about themselves, and they just like want to take it out on the LGBTQ community when like low key they're like one of us.
Yes.
I saw this TikTok yesterday, I think, and this is not necessarily a reference that I would personally use if I was them, but it did make a lot of sense. The person was saying the same thing that like, you know, hurt dogs yelp the loudest,
Mhm.
and these people that are so anti-queer, like that they make it their personality.
Yeah.
There's got to be more to it, because the guy was saying if somebody was to put him in a room full of crack, he wouldn't touch it. It
Mm-mm.
wouldn't bother him because he's not a crackhead. But the same thing goes with the people that are so anti-queer. You put that gay person, or the closeted person, or whatever you want to call them, in a room full of gays, they're gonna get nervous because they're having some sort of feelings.
Yeah.
If it doesn't relate to them, why does it bother them so much?
Well, clearly
Um,
he's gay. I mean, hello, you had gay on your computer and it started streaming out of nowhere.
That's crazy.
I think I think it's not. I wouldn't necessarily say someone's gay based off of that. I think it's okay to experiment. You know,
Yeah.
I have looked at straight porn. That doesn't make me straight.
Oh, I watch trans
Um,
porn all the time.
so I think it just depends on your curiosities, but also like if you're curious about that, you
Yeah.
definitely shouldn't be attacking the community that you're
But it's
watching.
like, it's every time, like you said, it's the people that point fingers the most that have the skeletons in their closet. That's how it was for me growing up in high school, too. Like, I was always bullied by all these, like, hardcore masculine guys that were like, oh, you're gay, you're gay. And I was just like, I'm not gay. But then later on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you find out that later on they're in your inbox on Grinder or something saying, hey, you want to come over? You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
maybe he was just doing research for his next gay
On
bashing.
buttholes.
Fierce, how is it in Canada? I mean, I feel like every time I hear anything about Canada, everything's so woke and like uh, in the future of like being very equal and accepting for the most part. How is it there
It
compared to
it
the
kind of
States?
is like better. Like people are definitely more accepting here, and it's not to say like that it's perfect here because it definitely isn't. But like when I've been to the states, like sometimes I'll like it's like scary. Like you're watching like we're here and like seeing like those clips of like how like in the South like people are so against queer people. It's not really like that here. Like
Oh,
um, it's
yeah.
definitely more accepting, but yeah, I feel like very
I
lucky
live in
to be
Kentucky
living.
and it's very bad.
Yeah, I feel very lucky to be living in Canada. Like, I don't think I'd feel like comfortable being myself if I was, or like, I don't think I would have had the chance to like come out when I was younger if I didn't live in a place that was so accepting.
Do you still have like bad like places in Canada that are like more, you know,
Homophobic?
yeah.
Yeah, like Toronto is definitely one of the more like accepting places. I would say maybe like Um, like Alberta. Alberta's kind of like the south of Canada, I guess.
Mm,
There's like a few places there, or even just like smaller places in Canada. It's
yeah.
the community is definitely not as accepting as it is in the bigger cities.
Hmm.
Well, if Trump gets elected again, I definitely think that I'm going to be
Moving to
looking.
Canada, bitch.
Girl, trust. There's going to be a mass exodus of queer people infiltrating
Well, they were saying
Canada.
too in the article that they were like they're gonna go for the Jews first and then the gays. It's just crazy.
That's crazy. That
The fact that we're even talking about like them saying this and having this conversation, it's like history repeating itself. It's so scary.
Right.
yeah, that's really crazy. Um, well, we already talked about Fiercalicious being on Traders Canada. Um, Tell me about your experience on your season of Drag Race. Do you feel like there was anything left out that you wish would have been kept in, or you think that you were fairly portrayed?
I actually am really happy with my experience, but I definitely didn't feel that way at the beginning because I was kind of a more controversial person on my season. Like at the beginning of my season, I think people just didn't understand me, and I got the first few episodes, I would get hate messages every single day. I would
Oh
get
my
death
god.
threats. I would get racist messages in my inbox. People telling me to kill myself, just because they didn't understand me or understand like the persona that I was putting on. And then didn't take on it took until like the end of the series until people finally like understood me, and that
Yeah.
I became like the fan favorite by the end. But at the beginning, I hated the whole experience. Like I was dreading the next episode coming out because I just knew there would be more and more drama and people would just
Ugh.
come and send me more and more messages. But I've like kind of found a way to like just flip it. Like I would go on like Twitter and like the first episode when I made that prolapse dress and everyone was saying I should have been in the bottom and I was getting like threats because I wasn't in the bottom. I just like made jokes about myself and now like I wear that dress everywhere and it kind of takes the power away from people making fun of you if you're
Well,
making fun of
listen, if you
yourself.
can't make fun of yourself, how the hell are you gonna make fun of anybody else? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
Well, I always say that that saying is not correct to me. I always say if you can't make fun of Chantel Sparkles, how are you going to make fun of anybody else?
I fucking hate you. And this is the shade of the week.
Are you who are you closest to from your original season?
I'm definitely closest with like Jada and Kimmy. Like I mean, we knew each other from before the season, and we kind of
Mhm.
fought a bit on the show because like I was being a little too much, and they were sick of me, and they were kind of distancing themselves from me on the show, and it just like upset me because felt like I didn't have my
Why?
friends. Because I felt like I didn't have my friends there. I know it's a competition; you should be like focused on yourself, but like it also does help to like have people around you that like support you and can just like back you up. And I felt like they
Mhm.
weren't really there for me at the beginning. So we kind of fought
Do
a
you
bit
think it was
about it.
just because of like the persona that you're putting on and everything? They're
I know,
like, oh, I
I don't,
don't want them to cast me like that.
I don't think I was really like putting on a persona because my issue was when I watched the previous season, season two, I knew a lot of those
Mhm.
girls and they weren't really being themselves. And I think it's more entertaining
Mm.
as a viewer when you're just like yourself. Like when
Well,
we're
yourself is the most unique thing in the world.
right. And like some people get scared of like the fan reaction and they kind of hold themselves back because they're afraid of getting attacked online. And I just didn't give a fuck. I was like, I'm gonna go into this and be myself.
She
And
was the plain Jane.
yeah, I mean, Plain Jane was me. I came before her on Drag Race.
Yeah.
Yes, live.
But yeah, no, me and Plain Jane were very similar. Like, I feel like she's also just very outspoken and she's not afraid of what people are gonna say about her. And like going into it, I was like, I'm just gonna be myself. I'm not gonna worry about what the fans are gonna say about me online. And if they like me, they like me. And if they don't, they don't.
Yeah. Well, is there any challenges that you felt like you deserved to win that you didn't get to win?
Um,
All of them.
yeah. I mean, we'll talk about this later in a few months. But on that season, no, I was actually very happy with my run. No,
I
yeah, it
really
was,
liked watching too because I saw a couple of the episodes on YouTube, and I like how they filmed it too. It reminded me of like the earlier seasons of the U.S. Drag Race.
yeah. it kind of gives like old school vibes, and also like just
Yeah,
the whole energy there too. Like everyone, it's very different from the U.S.
yeah, I
experience.
liked it.
What about let's talk about drama. Do you have any feuds with any Drag Race girls?
She's
Not
the
currently,
drama of it
but
all.
I had a few. I got into a fight with like Chaos. I don't know if you saw the reunion, um, the Canada's Drag Race reunion.
Yeah.
Like there was a few of us that
Yeah.
were upset with her, and previously, like a few weeks before, me and Chaos just went on, sorry, a tour, and she was just bothering me the whole time. And then emotions were high, and then it just like all came out at the reunion because I hadn't seen her since then. And I kind of got into like a little, not really drama, but like with Lux during the Wowies nominations. But like
Oh wow.
Hmm.
that wasn't really
What was
drama.
that for?
It was because both of us were nominated for the Wowies, and we were kind of just like both being like funny online and creating like a
Mm.
little fake feud to get the fans like riled up to vote for us. And I won. Um,
Oh wow. Okay. All
that was
right. What was the award? What was the award
the
that you
the
won?
Wowies. It was a can of soup.
Oh,
For,
word.
oh, for
But
best
I'm
Twitter.
saying
For
what?
best Twitter.
Oh, for best
Yeah,
Twitter.
so we were just
Fierce.
like fighting online on Twitter, obviously. And then I did get into a little fight with Monica Beverly Hills online.
Oh
When
shit.
remember when the not a soaking sorry, not a soul can clock thing was like coming out? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I quoted like the video and I was like, what does not a soaking clock mean? And she like got really upset about it. She sent me a tweet. She was like, if you don't understand, you could have just messaged me. And I was like, girl, I messaged her and I was like, girl, like I wasn't trying to offend you. I was just like being funny. But like you should just like spin
Was
this.
this before everybody jumped on the bandwagon was saying
This
soaking
was like
clock?
as it was like getting like bigger and bigger and like blowing up.
Oh, then why
Um
did she get pissed?
I think she just thought everyone was like making fun of her. But I messaged her and I was like, you should like make merch out of this. Like everyone's like living for you. Like no one's like trying to like bring you down. Like we just think it's like a funny
Yeah,
moment. So just like roll with the punches.
Yeah,
that's
I
crazy.
hope for her sake she understands that like the show will take something and make it into whatever they want to make it into, and that moment was a positive for her, and
I
she
was gonna
should
say
just
she should have rode with it.
Yeah.
yeah, just rode with it. I think she did. I did see some stuff where she was butthurt at the beginning of all that, but then I think I also saw where she was kind of embracing it towards later on.
Yep.
So I hope that's how she feels now because it is iconic. I mean, it was not great, her verse, but I mean, like look at like verses like Roxy's. You know,
Right.
it became
Yeah, the
infamous
rap
and
was just
iconic.
yeah, exactly.
So I think she's just gotta embrace it.
I mean, bitch, I'm playing Fortnite. I'm like, not a soul clock. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she's definitely made something of it. So she needs to
Mhm.
definitely
yeah.
just keep milking it.
And like you said, Fierce, like one of the things that you have to do with the fan base, if they're making fun of you or attacking you, you have to embrace it and
Yeah.
Yep.
like almost take the power away from them.
Yeah, you can't get like too sensitive about these things because like the fans are always gonna find like something little to make fun of, and
Hmm.
you making fun of it with them is just gonna make them join it.
Even
Like
more mad.
no, if you go against them, then they're gonna like keep coming at you. But if you like
Yeah.
go with them, then they'll just go away.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, with this, are you familiar? Have you watched this so far this season of All Stars 9?
I haven't watched it fully. I've seen like clips on Twitter, but I've seen like
Okay,
yeah
so you're
parts of it.
familiar with the girls that are there.
Yeah.
Do you think that you would fare well with this group of girls if you
It,
were on it?
if it was not an elimination, hell yeah. And if they give us the budget that the girls got, yeah, for sure. Like I think I definitely proved myself on season 3 that I have a lot of like range and what I can do. There is definitely some like very experienced girls on this cast, which is a bit intimidating, but I think I
Oh
can keep up
yes.
with them.
Yeah, fierce. Would
Alicia.
you do all would you do All Stars?
Perhaps. I'll send you a message
Perhaps.
after.
Okay, all right, okay.
Okay.
Not that I have a say in it. I mean, girl.
No.
Um,
Well, if you need hair, bitch, let me know. I'll do hair for you.
I will hit you up.
well,
Yeah, for sure.
well, we do Am I the Asshole, which is like something that we find online, a little quick story, and then we discuss afterwards. I want to read this for you guys, and then we'll talk about it. This story is pretty quick, I think. So I, 23 female, recently moved to a new place and am getting to know my neighborhood. A week ago, I found a small coffee shop with great cake. So yesterday I went for a coffee. I freelance, so I set my own hours. The coffee shop is relatively small with under 10 tables available. I sat at the most comfortable looking chair in the shop, one of four chairs at the biggest table. I was a little into my drink and cake when a group of four middle aged people asked me if I could move so they could sit together. All four were on the larger side, and I could understand how they would be uncomfortable on the seats in the shop. The one I was sitting in had high back, armrests, and was plush with softer leather.
She's going into
I,
detail.
I, how, I, however, would also like to sit comfortably. I told them they were free to take the chairs, the three other chairs, and put an extra at the table. They told me they had something to discuss amongst themselves and would appreciate if I move. Again, I told them I liked the chair and I was there first, so I would not move. They grumpily they grumbled amongst themselves, gave me the stink eye, and asked the shop to make their orders to go. When I told my family about this, my mom told me I was selfish of me to take up table of four when I was just there by myself. Am I the asshole? What do you guys think? Are they the asshole?
I mean, it kind of sounds to me like she thinks or is it a girl? She thinks she's the asshole because she like is fully saying like, she's like, yeah, I sympathize with these people. I can understand like why they would want to sit in these chairs, but I don't want to move. I mean, it's kind of an asshole thing
Yeah.
to do,
I
but
think the people are the asshole because, like, she offered to give him chairs, you know what I mean? And they wanted that specific table. And she was like, listen, I'm giving you chairs, you know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
trying to take everything. So I feel like they're the assholes and they can take their coffee to go.
I think I need a little bit more context. Was there other tables that would fit four people?
I mean, she went
Because
into detail. Obviously,
to,
there wasn't.
to me, it sounds like there wasn't other available tables.
Right.
So if that's the case, if there was another table that had a seat for one, then she should move.
yeah.
If there wasn't, then I can understand her staying there.
I
But
think it
I
just
do,
depends on the person because not everybody has to be nice like that. Like, she was already
well,
being nice.
I absolutely hate when people go and
Take up a table.
take up their table for way longer. Like they're like going to a coffee shop and you're literally doing your whole day of work there. Like,
Hmm.
come on.
Yeah, I
If
do
it's a
hate when
small
people
coffee
bring their damn
shop,
laptops and sit there all day. I'm like, girl.
Like, get an
yeah,
office space.
Yes.
yeah. That's not the coffee shop's obligation for you to be, for them to be your workstation.
I'll be honest
Um,
though, like for me sitting at the table and if I was sitting there drinking and I was like, hey, you can have these three chairs. And then, they were like, well, we really want to sit there. Trent, you know me. I would have been like, oh, no problem, because I'm very that. But depending on the way that they asked, that would have played into the role too.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to be near you while you're drinking coffee anyway, because literally, Fiercalicious. You don't know
She's
Shontelle.
lactose intolerant.
Let me tell you what, she gets one whiff of coffee and has to go to the bathroom
Oh no.
immediately.
Well, I
Girl.
stopped drinking coffee like a year ago because I wound up getting a kidney stone from drinking coffee. Because when I drink coffee, I would drink like 3 cups all day, and that's all I would do. It's not do anything else besides just drink coffee. So my body was like, "Bitch, no." So then I had a kidney stone. And have you ever had a kidney stone, Fiercalicious?
Mm-mm.
It's like going into labor. It is the worst pain you will
Damn.
ever experience in your life. And I wound up having it and went to the emergency room. And after that, I quit cold turkey. I said, no more.
You don't drink coffee at all anymore, Chantel? I don't think I
No,
knew that. I don't think I
no.
knew that.
I
When
don't
we
drink
went to the
coffee
coffee
either. Like,
shop,
it makes me too giddy. I like if I drink coffee,
yeah.
like I drink in the morning, and I would literally be up like all night. I already have like too
Yeah,
much
it just
energy.
one fucks your stomach up. Like you end up shitting all over the place. You're
Hmm.
giddy, jitty, and then also like it just really messes up your body. It's not good for you.
I
I
heard it was
love
healthy.
coffee.
I heard if you drink it like in
I
moderation, it's
still,
healthy.
Really? I just feel like the caffeine in it just messes you up.
I stand by coffee. I drink it every day, all day. I had an iced coffee already. I need another one.
Yeah.
So I'll have one in your name, Chantel.
Cheers to that.
What is your vice, Fiercalicious?
Um, I don't really have one, I think. Do I? I mean, like, I love
Yeah.
eating. When I'm stressed out, I like eat a lot. Like on Drag Race, like
Wh-
when I was on Drag Race, I don't think I've ever like Jada was like, I've never seen you eat this much in your life. I like people that go on Drag Race and lose weight. I gained weight on Drag Race.
Really? What is your favorite food? Like what do you like to binge?
Pizza, but like I'll eat anything. I'm not a picky eater. But pizza's like my
Pizza.
go-to.
I
Yeah.
love pizza.
That's quick to put some weight on you.
Yeah. I have a really fast metabolism. Like I eat so much food and it goes nowhere.
How old are you?
Fierce.
I'm 27.
Okay. Well, wait till you hit 30.
Yeah, Chantel used to be your size.
Yes. I used to be skinny. And then once I hit 30 and started getting to about 35, girl, back
I
in
don't
it.
know, cause like they say like you take your weight after like your father, and like my
Mhm.
father's like pretty much the same like build as me still. So
Oh,
we'll
okay.
see.
Yeah.
Well, my father, ooh, bitch, he has a beer belly, honey. He's not huge, but he's definitely got a beer belly.
I
Luckily
can
I
see
don't
it
drink. I don't drink beer. How dare you? No, you do not.
with that mom ass bitch.
I'm on Ozempic, bitch.
As soon as she got home from what we ate at the prelim, she's like, "I'm shooting my shit up with this."
Girl, I know people have their feelings about Ozempic or whatever, but girl,
Listen, if
yes.
it works, it works.
My whole brand is based around my tuck, and if I can't show that, then girl, what am I doing
Mhm.
with my
Hmm.
life?
The weight's going to the tuck.
Girl, hello. All right, so we have a few more topics to talk about. Let me go back to my thing right here. Oh my gosh.
Audience member's phone floods with grinder notifications.
I don't. Did you read that one? Because if you didn't read that one, I don't want to talk about it
It
because
was
I
more
didn't
about
really.
a video. I just watched the video. I thought it was really funny. She just grabbed his phone and she was like, oh, first off, why do you grab someone's phone? Nowadays, you just don't do that. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know what is on someone's phone. And she just, like, in the audience, grabbed it. She literally was like, okay. And then she started swiping. And then all of a sudden, you hear this brink, brink. And
Oh
she's
wow.
the whole audience, like, she was on the
Wait, who
mic.
did
I guess
this?
it was like, it was on, I mean, it's on Grinder's Instagram account.
Something in Sweden.
Yeah,
Oh.
and the lady was
Oh,
just
I think
on
I
I
saw
guess
this
he was on a game
clip.
Oh,
show.
I saw this
it's
clip.
for
Yeah, yeah.
Eurovision.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Eurovision.
Yeah.
Eurovision.
And it just started
Has
going
that ever
off.
happened to you? Like where you like you're in a room that's not like a bunch of gays and your grinder goes off?
That didn't happen to me, but like one time there was this friend I had, and he was always saying he was straight, and then one time he posted a screenshot on Twitter, and then in the corner of the screenshot it said "back to grinder," and that's how we clocked him.
Oh wow.
Damn.
Okay. Wow. Outed himself, honey.
I feel
Hmm.
like nowadays everybody has their phone on silent, it seems
Yeah.
like. So it's like, how did you even have that going?
Girl, before there was Grinder, when I was like, when the internet became a thing where you still had dial up, I'm sure you don't remember this, Pierce, but when I was like 14,
56K.
I got my first computer. It was like one of those chunky big desktops that was like
I had
wide
one of those.
and silver and like the old ones. And so AOL chat became like it was a thing. And that's where I learned everything to do with gay. Like you would go into those
Gay.com.
girl, you'd go. I think I learned how
Gay.com.
to douche. I learned how to douche in those chat rooms, like
Uh-huh.
because I didn't
You taught
know.
me how to douche. Remember when we used to
On
travel and
AOL chat.
I was a skinny bottom for the longest time, and Trin was like, "Girl, she's the queen of douching." Now I know where she learned it. She's like, "Yeah, grab a water bottle and shove it up your ass,
Oh
and you're good to
wow.
go." And
Oh,
I'm
she's
like,
a
"A
water
water
bottle girly.
bottle?"
When you travel, yeah. And now at home, I have a contraption in my
A
shower,
professional douching
but
system.
when you travel, yeah, you girls got to do what a girl's got to do.
I feel
You
like
know.
that should be your next thing that you should market: douche
Uh,
bottles.
okay, okay.
I used one of those showers ones. Oh, it gagged me so hard because you have to be careful with the water pressure. And
I was gonna say,
Oh
I just turned it on. I was like, oh my God, I saw white light.
yeah, girl.
she probably came out all ends.
She filled you up
The
like a
water, the water came
water
out my
balloon.
nose.
It was coming
A
out your
water balloon.
eyes and your ears.
Oh my God. Only a gay conversation would you hear talking about douching. So on this podcast, we like to do something called Back in the Day Gay. We want to know your story of like when you realized you were gay. Like what was the moment in time? It could even be before you actually knew the term gay, but like when did you know?
I don't even remember. Like, I think, like, I remember, like, as a child, like, I always, like, knew I was, like, gay. I don't know. I don't remember, like, a specific moment in my time. But I know, like, certain people had, like, when, as, like, they grew up, they kind of, like, their
They
feelings
had a
changed.
moment.
Or some people even, like, later on in their lives. Like, my partner, he, w- he's, like, 23. He wasn't in a relationship with a man. Well, I'm the second guy he's ever dated. And he didn't date a guy for until like 3 years ago. So it
Oh,
kind of,
wow.
yeah, for certain people, it kind of like takes time to realize themselves. But for me, like I knew since I was like a toddler.
Pretty much same.
Wow. Who was your first crush that you can remember?
Um, my
Could be
friend,
celebrity, could be.
it was my friend's dad. Yeah,
You better
Oh,
work,
yeah.
daddy,
bitch.
daddy issues. Did
Yes.
you ever try to hit on him?
I was like 7.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that would be totally
yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
We do not condone that here.
You know,
No,
it's funny.
ma'am.
I remember having a teacher too when I was in grade school. His name was Mr. Ross. And I always thought he was gay. I didn't even really know what gay was. I just knew that he was like, I was like, he's into boys or something. And I had the biggest crush on him too. So I get it being into the.
Ross Matthews.
No, bitch.
The hilarious Ross Matthews.
Um,
Yes.
I also had a crush. This wasn't my first crush, but in middle school, I had a history teacher named Coach Hudson. So he was a
Mm.
coach for the girls' volleyball team, and he was a history teacher. Girl, this man, he was 6'4", 6'5". He
Oh,
would always
shit.
wear those short sleeve polos, and they were so fitted because he was so ripped. And like his pants, he would wear khakis, and his shirt tucked in. His ass. Girl, I
Just
had the
fully cupped.
biggest. Oh, girl, he was so fine. He was not gay. He had a picture of his wife on his desk. But bitch, when I
Mm.
tell you, I
They
swooned over
all
this
do.
man. Oh my gosh. But he was always nice. I think he knew that I was like, fruity, so he was nice to me, but like definitely was like,
He'd
bitch,
throw some
I'm
crumbs out.
He steered clear.
no, no.
Oh.
I don't think he wanted, to catch a predator. I think he was like,
Oh.
definitely, this little gay boy, no, no, thank you. The last thing on the podcast that we want to do is talk about something that's happened this week in either on social media you've seen from somebody else you've experienced or that you've done that's shady. Um, so, Shontelle, why don't you start with yours? What have you seen or done
I
or
mean, lately it's
experienced?
just been you throwing shade at me, bitch. But this is nothing new. You always do.
What is name an example that we haven't had
Oh,
on the podcast?
um, so when I got, girl, this is a moment. So whenever, first off, I haven't done drag in quite a minute because I've been just taking a break from it. But I decided because they asked me to come to Chicago Entertainer of the Year, the prelim. So I got in drag and I always wear a corset. Well, I put the corset on and the corset was not doing the job, sweetie. Like still it was like one of those how would you describe that trend? Like when you like squeeze something and it's like a squeezed sausage.
Oh, girl, like muffin top is kind of what it was.
Yeah, pretty much. Because like all around my tits and like my back, it was like squeezing out of the
Just
And I was like, there's nothing I can do. I should have probably brought my shaper, but I forgot. So like that was really shady. And you kept telling me you're like, oh girl, you getting fat as hell.
well, girl,
Fat shaming.
I had bought this dress at Akira, and it was like a pattern that was like a white and black pattern, so it kind of like it would probably camouflage that kind of thing. And
Which it
and
did, but I was is
she
not
she
cutting
was
it.
like, "Can I borrow that so I can like distract away from this?" I I don't honestly. I was just picking on you. I don't think it looks bad. I
No, I
think
know.
I think you definitely, for yourself, if you're trying to be, the queen you used to be, you might want to just shape up a little bit. But other than that, I don't think. I think you have a great shape because you pad very well.
Yeah.
So I think that
But that
that's
was
fine.
the I call shade, not just because of that, but just because like the moment I realized, I'm like, damn, it's been 4 months and I've already gained this much weight. Oh,
And you know what? No fat shaming here. I think people look great in all shapes and sizes.
well, absolutely.
Um,
But when you're used to a certain shape and then you come back to that and you're like, oh,
and you
it's
you
not
come
giving.
back as a different shape.
Yeah.
So my I call shade moment of the week is, I don't know if you guys have seen, but I think it was the Cannes Film Festival. I saw this clip of Kelly Rowland in this red
Oh, I
gown
saw
and
that.
blonde bob, and she was going up the staircase, and she's like looking back to take pictures, and
She read that bitch.
this woman security guard kept like basically pushing her in a direction to go. And at first, Kelly was being nice and was like, hey, just, don't. And then, like, the lady kept being aggressive with her, and she was like, don't you ever talk to me like that, or you are not my mother. It was like a moment. So,
When I saw that, I was kind of annoyed because I was like, leave Kelly alone. She's never in the drama. She's
I
never
haven't seen
doing
that
bad
clip.
things.
yeah, you should look it up. That was my I call shade moment. I was like, girl, the security was a little much
There's a
in that.
clip that got released too of this sign language interpreter, or I think they're deaf. I'm not sure, but they were reading the girl's lips that was saying stuff to Kelly Rowland. We'll have to find it so we can put it on here. It looked funny as hell
Oh my
because I
gosh.
want to know the tea. I want to know what she said.
I want to know exactly what she said too. Fierce, do you have any I call shade moments of the week?
Well, actually, I have a shady moment right now. So there was a clip I saw on Twitter that just went viral this week of you, Trinity, and I was going to bring it up to you. I don't know if you saw it. So Naomi Smalls did a podcast, and she was talking about like moments on your All-Star season. And she brought up the moment where RuPaul told you that you were serving like the highest form of drag. And then her and Valentina looked at each other and they were like, this bitch's wig is like rotted. Um, do you agree with that statement?
Oh, I saw the clip. One thing about Naomi is I don't know if Naomi likes me or not. She tends to have some negative things to say about me sometimes. But I just saw her at the Christian Louis Vuitton shoe sale in LA like a week and a half ago, and she came up to me and she was all nice and kiki and mwah, 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 mwah. So I don't know if she likes me or not, if that's just her online
I
Right? Maybe it's just
persona.
I
her
don't I
persona.
don't think she meant it like in a negative way because I've been like watching her podcast. She's been like reviewing like the All Star season. She's just very opinionated about like drag, but I don't think she's like coming at you as a person.
But I will say this: I'm a huge Naomi fan. I think her form of drag is fierce. I think on her original season she was great. I think on All Stars she was great for the most part. Um, but as far as that wig goes, I can see what she's saying. As
Which
far
wig
as
was it?
Oh,
it was the
it was like wait,
it was
let me pull it up. I had it saved in my bookmarks just for this.
it was this long straight wig. It was
It was the
synthetic,
angelic one.
the
Yeah.
angelic white one.
Is it that
So
straight wig that you told me you liked so much and you've had it for years?
yes. So I'll tell you the story of why I wore this wig instead of the wig that I was supposed to wear. So Shontelle did all of my hair for All Stars 4. And for Angelic White, we had decided to go with this. You remember the one, it was blonde and it was really poofy? You had made it huge. It was curly.
I think so. Maybe.
That
Yeah,
was the way.
that's the wig. So the wig that Chantel had made for me, it just had so much hair. There was so much volume at my shoulders, and with the feathers, it just was going to be too much. And so I had already specific wigs planned for every look that I was going to do, and then I brought some like bullshit wigs, and that was one of the bullshit wigs. I would say I still like the wig. It wasn't expensive human hair lace front
Did you
long
spray
straight
them
wig that
ends?
that some of these girls wear? No, but was I looking great?
You
Yes.
did look good.
And did RuPaul love it? She did. And did I end up winning the season? I did. So,
Period.
people are allowed to say what they want to say, and that's
At
fine.
the end of the day, she won.
There
That
were
part.
a few moments of Naomi's looks that I didn't care for, but that's neither here nor there.
Would you wear the wig
And
again
again,
today?
I probably still have that wig still, and so I probably still would wear that
And you
wig.
would use that spray that you told me to get from the wig store. And you'd be like, look,
Yes,
she's fresh as new.
girl. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No, I think actually I don't have that wig anymore. It was on its last leg when I wore it there. So Naomi probably she was not wrong, but girl. I did what I had to do because I was not about to look like I had no neck, like Ginger
Well, I feel
Minge.
like in that moment, you really do have to do what you got to do. So you did
Well,
good, Shug.
we'll see. We'll see because I did see on a recent video clip of Detox and Naomi at Roscoe's viewing party where they both said that they would do All Stars again. So I would love to see Naomi again on an All Stars because she's very fierce
Yeah.
and she's like she wants to win. So let's see if third time's a charm.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Well, thank you both so much for being on this week's podcast of I Live for This. I'm your host, Trinity the Tug. We have Shontelle Sparkles and Fiercalicious. Until next time, see ya.
Bye.